Hey there, in this video I'm going to show you how to factor a trinomial using the box diamond method. And a trinomial is just an expression with three terms. So the first step in this process, at least for this problem, is to make a box and section it off into four pieces. Now sometimes even before you do this you might have to factor out a greatest common factor, but for these problems, we're not going to have to deal with that. So once I've made my box, I put the first term, the x squared, in this corner right here. X squared right here. And the last term, the plus 8, I'll just slide to the opposite corner. So that'll be our first step. The next step is to make a diamond. That's why this is called the box diamond method. And I'm going to fill in this diamond. So what I'm going to do is take the last term, the 8, and multiply it with the first term, x squared. So I'm thinking 8 times x squared is 8x squared. And I'll put that at the top of the diamond. Then I'm going to take my middle term, the 6x, and I'll slide it down to the bottom of the diamond. Now here's what I'm thinking. Are there two numbers that when I multiply, or two terms when I multiply, give me 8x squared, and when I add those same two numbers or terms I get 6x. Well, hopefully you're thinking 2x and 4x, because 2x times 4x is 8x squared, and 2x plus 4x is 6x. And once you've found those numbers, you just slide them over into the box here. So I'll put the 2x here, and I'll slide the 4x here. And then I'll go ahead and complete the process. Now really quickly, it's okay if you put the 4x here and the 2x here. That would be fine. Now the next thing I do is one more double check. I make sure that each piece, all four pieces of this box, when I add them up, give me the original trinomial back. So if you think about it, the only things I can really add are the diagonals, this 4x and 2x, because they're like terms. But let's check this. X squared, that shows up right here. 4x plus 2x is 6x, that shows up right here. And my plus 8 shows up right here. So that's a good check. Now the next thing I want to do is fill in the dimensions of the box. So this little piece here, right here, has an area of x squared. That means each length, this length here and this length here, has to be x by x. Because x times x gives us an area of x squared. Now let's see if we can figure out this little piece right from kind of here to here. What would the length be of this piece right here? Well, if this length is x, this length is x. And x times what gives us an area of 4x? Well, hopefully you're thinking 4. I'll include a plus sign there. Again, let's think about this. This length is x, this length is x, and x times 4 gives us an area of 4x right here. We'll use the same thinking to find this little piece right here. What do you think the length of this piece is going to be right here, using that same thinking? Well, this length is x, so this length is x, and x times what gives us an area of 2x? Well, hopefully you're thinking 2. I'll include my plus sign. Again, let's make sure we got that. This length is x, right? Right here. And x times 2 gives us an area of 2x. And we're pretty much done. We have our factors, but I want to check the last piece, the 8. So if this length is 2, this length is 2. If this length is 4, this length is 4. And 2 times 4 gives us an area of 8. So it all checks out, and I now have my factors. So right here, it's x plus 4 times x plus 2. I will write those down, and I am done factoring this. X plus 4 from right here times x plus 2 from right here. And that's my answer. So when you're asked to factor a trinomial like this, the factored form is right down here. Now let's look at another one in which we have to or in which there's a negative number, so it's a little more difficult. So let's say we had this expression, x squared plus x minus 12, and I wanted to factor this. Now this is harder because of this minus sign. The first thing I want to do is put a number in front of the x. It appears that there isn't one, but there's an implied 1 right here. So let's put that in there right away, because 1 times x is x. So I'm going to put that 1 in there, and then I'm going to go through the same process. I'm going to make my box, section it off into 4 pieces. I will put the x squared here. Make that box a little better. The x squared goes here, and in the opposite corner goes the minus 12 right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my diamond. Now be careful when you bring this 12 over. Don't forget to bring this minus sign over here. Don't forget to attach that with the 12. Now, same as before, I'm going to take my last term, which is minus 12, and multiply it by x squared. So remember, don't forget that minus sign. Minus 12 times x squared is minus 12x squared. Then I'm going to bring my plus 1x. I'll slide it down here. I don't want to bring the plus sign with me this time. Now I'm thinking to myself, are there 2 terms that when I multiply give me a negative 12x squared? But when I add those same 2 terms, I get a plus 1x, and this is much more difficult than the last problem. So what I do is I just look at the negative 12. And I'm going to list the factors of negative 12. Those are numbers multiplied together. So here's 1. How about negative 1 and 12? Negative 1 times 12 is negative 12, or I could use 1 and negative 12. When I multiply either one of these together, I get negative 12, but there's no way to add this combination to get a plus 1. You can list all the factors of 12 and see which one works, but the one I'm thinking of right off the bat is this one. Negative 3 and 4, or 3 and negative 4. Let's think this through. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, but I got to pick the one that adds up to plus 1, and hopefully you see it's this one. That's what I'm going to use, because negative 3 plus 4 is a plus 1, so I'm going to put a minus 3x here, attach the x with it, and a plus 4x here. Now let's double check this one more time. Negative 3x times a plus 4x is a negative 12x squared. That checks. And a negative 3x plus 4x is a plus 1x. Once I've done that piece, that's the hard part, I just slide my numbers over, or my terms over, into the box. So the minus 3x goes here, and the plus 4x goes here. I'm going to bring the signs with me. I have to bring the negative sign with me. The bringing over the plus sign is optional. Now again, you could put the plus 4x here and the minus 3x here. That's fine, but you can't. Make sure you always have the negative sign with the 3 and the plus sign with the 4. Now let's fill out the dimensions of the box. Just like before, this works like a times table. So this is x by x, because x times x gives us an area of x squared. We'll use the same reasoning as before. If this length is x, this length is x, and x times what gives us 4x? Well, it's going to be plus 4, right? X times 4 gives us an area of 4x. Same reasoning here. If this is x, this length is x, and x times what gives us a minus 3x? Well, that's a minus 3. And that makes sense, because x times minus 3 gives us the area of minus 3x. And I want to check the last piece of the box right here. Let's see. So we have negative 3 here, negative 3 here, plus 4 here. This will have a length of plus 4. Negative 3 times plus 4 gives us an area of negative 12. And one thing I forgot to do, and I strongly recommend that you do before you fill out because we're pretty much done with this problem, but before you fill out the dimensions of the box, check to make sure that all these pieces inside the box add up to the original problem. So let's just do that real quick. I should have done that before I did this. That's all good. So my x squared is here. Plus 4x minus 3x is a plus 1x, which is here. And my minus 12 shows up here. So you want to do that check before you actually do this process. But now we're done. I'm just going to highlight this. And these are my factors. Put that in a better color. X plus 4 times x minus 3 are my factors. X plus 4 from right here times x minus 3. And we are done with that problem. Let's look at just one more. How about this right here? Let's go ahead and factor x squared minus 18x plus 32. X squared minus 18x plus 32. And you're more than free, you feel more than free to pause this video to do this problem. All right, let's go through the process. Step 1. Make your box. Hopefully you're getting more comfortable with this. Section it off into 4 pieces. And x squared goes here. Plus 32 goes here. I'll carry over the plus sign this time. Make our diamond. So we multiply the plus 32 with the x squared. 32 times x squared is 32x squared. Then we slide the minus 18x to the bottom of the diamond. And then I think to myself, are there two numbers or terms that when I multiply give me 32x squared? But when I add those same two terms, give me negative 18x. And this is the hard part. So let's just look at the factors of 32. Well, let's see. 1 and 32. And negative 1 and negative 32. Right? 1 times 32 is 32. And negative 1 times negative 32 is 32 because when you multiply two negatives, you get a positive. But there's no way to add these up to get the negative 18. So let's see, I'm thinking this, 2 and 16 or negative 2 and negative 16. Hopefully you see it's this one right here. Because negative 2 times negative 16 is a plus 32, and negative 2 plus a negative 16 is negative 18. So let's slide the negative 2x over here. Remember, you got to attach that x now. So brought the minus 2 right here and attach the x. Put a minus 16 here, attach the x. Remember, these can be flipped around, these two. And let's fill in the box. So the minus 2x goes here. And the minus 16x goes here. Let's do a double check here. Negative 2x times negative 16x is plus 32x squared. That checks because a negative times a negative is a positive. And negative 2x plus a negative 16x is a minus 18x because when you add two negatives, it stays negative. Now let's check the inside of the box here to see if we're okay. I'm going to add up each piece here to make sure I get this back. X squared right here. Negative 16x plus negative 2x minus 18x right here. And then the plus 32 is right here. Then all I have to do now is fill in the pieces of the box like before, and we are done. So this is going to be x by x, because x times x is x squared. Hopefully you see now that this piece here is going to be minus 16. Because if this length is x, this length is x, and x times minus 16 gives us a minus 16x. And hopefully you see that this little piece right here has to be a minus 2. Because if this length is x, this length is x, and x times minus 2 gives us an area of minus 2x. We will check the last piece, right? This plus 32. So if this is a length of negative 2, this is a length of negative 2, and if this is a length of negative 16, this is a length of negative 16. Negative 2 times a negative 16 is a plus 32, which gives us this little area. And we've checked everything, so these are our factors, and we will be finished. I will highlight them. And the final factored form is x minus 16 from right here times x minus 2 right here. And that's it. One strange thing about this is I'm talking about negative lengths here. That's kind of a strange concept. I don't even know if it really makes sense. I'll let you think that through. Have a great day.